Hey guys, it's Cassie and today we are talking about the 7 biggest luxury handbag trends of 2022. Trends that we're seeing continue this year, trends that are popping up towards the end of the year. I am covering the 7 that you really need to know about. Guys, if you are new here, my name is Cassie and I'm a self-diagnosed luxury addict. I put out videos on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays, so if you like luxury fashion, then you're going to love it here. So head down there, subscribe, turn on the bell, become a member of our luxury addicted family. When are we going to rehab? Never. Guys, are you ready? Let's go. By the way, links will be below to some of the examples that I'll be using in this video because some of them are current and some of them we're going to be looking forward to in autumn winter. The first trend are long baguette-like rectangular shoulder bags. Okay, basically rectangles are in. I don't make the rules. We are now seeing more and more brands add a lengthy version to their roster. It tends to be a sort of chopped in half version of one of their classic or more popular bags. But some brands are really just coming out the gate like, we're going to do something different, deal with it. I think that really what's important here are the proportions. What you don't want is to make it kind of too long and thin. You want it to kind of have enough width that it looks substantial enough as a bag. And I think sometimes when they go kind of too skinny, it just looks ridiculous. So I think the proportions are really important here. We've got the Dior D-Joy, which is a severed version of the Lady Dior. They're doing this bag in a few sort of like different textures, and I think that we'll see more and more colours come with more collections. But this actually also comes with 2 straps. So you've got the handle, you've got a chain strap, and you've got a longer crossbody strap as well. So I like that. Next up we have the Valentino Loco bag, which again you've got that V logo buckle on the front and you've got a chain strap as well. Similar to this, kind of in bag style, is the Bulgari Serpenti Maxi, I believe that they're calling it. Very similar vibe, it's just kind of like, are you a Valentino girl or are you a Bulgari girl? And then similar to Dior with like taking a classic and chopping it up, we've got Louis Vuitton doing their Petit Mal East-West. It's currently sold out. So if you're interested in seeing how popular these kinds of bags are, that might tell you something. These kind of longer bags are probably not the easiest to crossbody because it's going to be a bit awkward. Not necessarily with all of them, you know, it depends on the size and whatever, but I think that's just something to look out for if it's something that you're considering. The next trend, and this is a trend that is not a stranger to us, because we've kind of seen this grow over the last 2 to 3 years. It kind of died down a bit last year and it's back. This is pillow/puffer bags. Notably, Bottega Veneta for autumn winter 2022 sent 2 of these down the road. Well, the same bag, 2 different sizes. You've got a little sort of handheld, essentially, pillowcase with stuffing in leather, and that's the pillow pouch. And then you have the larger version, which obviously is a very sort of large clip. There doesn't seem to be any sort of strap or anything else here. It's literally just a large leather pillowcase for under the arm. Again, another kind of way that we're seeing this trend, again, if we use Bottega as an example, they're doing the pad bag, which is a sort of padded leather crossbody bag with a bit of gold hardware sort of tying it in the middle. Other ways that we're seeing this, Selena's dropping the Matelassé monochrome bag, I think. And they've sort of done that kind of long quilting that is very reminiscent of. Miu Miu does Matelassé quite a lot with their pieces. So Selena's doing that and mixing another trend that we've been seeing a lot of, which is the chain aspect for that bag in particular. Then you've also got Fendace, and I did kind of want to highlight this because although we don't have like detailed pictures of whatever, as you know, I've been keeping a very close eye on that collaboration. They're doing a few of the Fendi baguettes, but in this sort of padded fabric. We've got the Miu Miu Wonder, which came out. We've got the Mulberry Softy. This is definitely a trend that we're going to be seeing a lot more of. Wrist bags. Yes, wrist bags. Now, a couple of examples here. This is not the biggest trend. It's almost like a micro trend, but I did think it was an interesting one to talk about. These are bags that can be worn, clipped around the wrist, as more of a sort of jewellery piece, I guess, instead of, you know, as a traditional bag is held or carried or worn. We've got Loewe bracelet pouch. Theirs was in a sort of soft leather. It's got these gold hardware discs on the side, and then they clip together in what creates a sort of avant-garde looking bracelet. Now that one has a level of versatility because it does also come with a leather shoulder straps that you can go, I'm feeling like a little bit of wrist action tonight, or I'm feeling like I want to have her just on the shoulder. So you have that option with that. Then you've got the Fendi Nano Fendigraphy. So this again, they sent the models down the runway wearing it on the wrist, and people are wearing it like this. It's a little bit easier to style on the wrist than I think the Loewe one is, because your things will just be rattling around in the Loewe, swinging around. Whereas the Fendi one is kind of very that shape already, if that makes any sense. There you go, wrist bags, prepare to see more. This is a huge trend that we are basically seeing every brand do their own version of, and this is crescent/moon-shaped bags. With our current obsession with Y2K and the 2000s and reliving our youth, or whatever you want to interpret it as, crescent bags have really come along with this. And again, we're mainly seeing them done as a shoulder bag, but I'm going to show you some other examples of ways that they're being interpreted differently. This one is a little bit less of a literal interpretation. This is a Gen Z fave, the Coperni Swipe bag. So you've kind of, it's very structured, right? But you kind of have that crescent shape goes into the handle. It's very, very kind of like stiff and structured. Oddly enough, from what I've heard, it really kind of fits nicely on the shoulder and it feels very secure. It doesn't feel like, oh, I've got this massive thing kind of hanging off me, whatever. And the zips also go all the way around as well. Interesting. Givenchy have done their moon bag, and they have also added the Givenchy 4G chain. It's like their G's and a 4. You've got the recently released Loewe Luna, which is such a great bag for this trend. You've got leather versions, you've got canvas. It's quite a sizable bag. It's definitely not a small bag. I would definitely put it in the medium category. Lots of options here. I think that's a very easily styled bag. And to look forward to, Fendi Autumn Winter 2022 has this kind of interesting interpretation of this bag. It's like a little, just a little bit of curvature. Would it be quite crescent? No, but I think it's the only trend that this would fit into. Loose interpretation of this. We're definitely seeing a lot of curves in the bags. Next up, a very interesting trend, sculptural handles. We have seen this come up a lot. This is basically not your average leather top handle or leather strap, okay? There's a use of hardware in there. There's another element of hardware to add to a bag. I think this adds a lot of creativity and uniqueness to some of the bags that we're seeing do this. And when done in like a gold hardware or something, it really gives a pop to a bag. We're also seeing this done monochrome, like a lacquer finish on the hardware so that it matches with the bag, so that you can do a little bit more of a low-key vibe in case you're not, you know, shouty like me. Let's have a look at the Lanvin cat bag. This is a cat on the handle, basically looking back at it a little bit. Again, a sort of crescent-shaped bag. They're killing two trends with one stone here. They also do it in a kind of long version. This was seen on And Just Like That. Very unique, very interesting, fun, something a little bit different. Looking forward to Autumn Winter 2022, we've seen Bottega come out with the sardine bag. Yes, that's a fish as a handle. And then you've got that with the very Bottega intrecciato weave going on there. You've even got something like the Versace La Medusa Mini, where the handle is basically a chain, but again you've got that rigidity that adds to that kind of sculptural element of the bag that I think is very interesting. Another bag that we have to mention here is the Bulgari Serpentine Clutch, very reminiscent of like the Fendi First, again sculptural closure, something like that. But what they've done is they've got this kind of very relaxed leather clutch that's just got a snake snaking away at the top there. The next trend, hobo bags, okay? Going a little bit more casual, a little bit more easy, a little bit more day-to-day, right? Throw in and go. Goes very hand in hand with the shoulder bag trend. And again, there are very different ways to see this trend. So you've got something like the Celine Romy, which is a very kind of like, I would describe this as like a fashion girly bag. Like this bag would not look out of place in like the Row or on one of the Olsen twins. You know, it's very minimal, but then that slouch gives something very interesting to the whole silhouette of the bag. You've also got something like the Chanel 2022, also a hobo bag, different interpretation. Looks like a JD sports bag, but I'll keep my opinions to myself. Also, ones that I wanted to mention coming up in Autumn Winter 2022, Louis Vuitton is doing this. They've got a bag there, very signature hobo shape. It's got a chain strap, it's got a leather strap, so you've got that versatility in how you can wear it. It's big. They're doing this in monogram and reverse monogram. They're doing this in all leather. I would predict that this would be a very popular regular bag style, especially for those people that want a medium to bigger size everyday bag. And finally, this is a bit of a weird trend here, but I'm going to call it electric florals. We're seeing a lot of florals coming for us in autumn-winter 2022, paired with metallics, and I think this is very interesting. I don't know why, it gives me kind of Bridgerton, it gives me kind of Louis XIV Versailles, which is very much a vibe that I love and respect. Dior, Louis Vuitton and Fendi all did this on the runway. With Louis Vuitton, we saw it with this kind of metallic background with the florals on top. Again, look, this is a pattern, this is a print, this is going to be very loud. I think if styled in a way with a simple outfit or with a neutral outfit, I think it can really have a moment, but it's definitely not going to be for everyone. And then Dior and Fendi did it in a way where the metallic is in with the flowers, right? So it's not the metallic background like Louis Vuitton has done, the metallics are in with the flowers in like silver leaves and whatever. And again, so Fendi did this with the baguettes, Dior did this with the Bobby East West, the little long one. Again a longer version. There you go, there you go. I think this is something that I haven't spotted in a long time. I think this is something new, something different, something interesting, something worth noting. Guys, let me know what you thought about some of the bag trends that we covered today. Is there anything that you're particularly excited to see? I'm going to leave a link to another video here in case you haven't already seen it. Have an amazing morning, afternoon or evening wherever you are. And in the words of my father,
if you've enjoyed it, tell your friends. If you haven't, keep your mouth shut.
I'll see you in my next video. Mwah. Bye guys.